This man still looks so beautiful because he believes in himself.
He never distinguished between art and commercial. He always said, yes, art cinema is probably, it did this festival rounds. Commercial cinema was more viable, but for me, cinema was cinema. Girish Khanna said, see, he is given a very good audition. He is very talented. What he does, where he fits in is his problem. We should select him.
Now, the fact is that, if he's the same man who's, as I was telling Ishan, that he was there in Matches. He played this the Sardar character who says that how he was wronged in 47 and the rest of them in 84. And so I think an actor, basically, you cannot judge him if he's working in an East and East. Then it doesn't mean that he's like sympathizing with Pakistan. He's an actor. If he's like a say sympathizer of Sardars in Matches, so it doesn't mean that he becomes a Khalistani. An actor will be an actor, and he has played like say hardline characters in maybe other films. Tamas for that matter.
In Tamas, his son is a fanatic,
right?
And he plays a very liberal Muslim father, right? Which again a lot of Muslims would go, but that doesn't mean he's representing that ideal. He's only representing a character,
right? And then. Did it bother you? Did it offend you that those fake videos came up?
Oh God!
And about him giving an interview.
I laughed because the fake videos came from people and channels who are as lousy as the video.
Right.
And it was so sad that here is a great man who's gone, and he's given so much to Indian cinema, and the family is grieving, and there are people who try to ride on his piggyback. On his, I wouldn't even say back, 2 minutes of cheap publicity. But if that, I'm sure, Omji would say, agar usko, it's going to give them the cheap fame, so be it. And I also say, so be it. Let them come out with anything. It is just disgusting. And it doesn't really bother us, It just feels that, we just numb. These people are deleted. These channels are deleted.
Absolutely, and I think they should be ashamed of themselves the way whatever they did, because it was most certainly not journalism. No, absolutely, it was absolutely not journalism for the matter.
It is worse than yellow journalism.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I had a lot of reporters, calling me and said so and so said so and so. I said I don't know what you're talking about and I don't want to say anything. I said this is not the time. You want to come and pay respect to Omji, please come and pay. But asking for a bite at that time is just not on. No,
absolutely. Ma'am, you also happen to be his biographer. You've written The Unlikely Hero, from what I understand, and I think it's a wonderful journey, that what he went through in terms of the way he started off, and he was not the most handsome and good-looking person, because मुझे अच्छी तरीके से याद है. Say in 80s, उनके चेचक के उनके जो होते थे, and I used to find it fascinating that this man still looks so beautiful because he believes in himself. Because अगर आपका भरोसा अपने ऊपर है, you can still look as attractive as.
To me, he was the most handsome guy.
Yeah.
And what he did made him even more handsome.
Absolutely.
I think Mahmood साहब से वो actor कौन है? आप जहाँ एक पाव कीमा लेके, you can fill it up in his face, something to that effect. And when he joined for his interview at FTII, Rajkumar, I think the South actor, Rajkumar.
Okay, yeah. Kannada.
Kannada actor, Dr. Rajkumar. We met him later. And Girish Karnad, they were on the interview. Girish Karnad was the director. And so the whole panel after, his interview said, Arey, how can we take him? He doesn't look like a hero. He doesn't look like a villain. He doesn't look like a comedian. So where will he fit in? So Girish Khanna said, see, he is given a very good audition. He is very talented. What he does, where he fits in is his problem. We should select him.
No, absolutely. And apparently he didn't even have the money to pay his tuition fees.
He didn't have the money to pay his tuition fees.
280 rupees, he said that later on, that I don't want to pay, I just want them to have my kharza.
Yeah. In fact, after NSD, because NSD is on scholarship, he for 1 year he could not join. His batchmate Nasir was already in FTI and he was 1 year senior in FTI to Om. And when he joined, he didn't have money. The Punjab government offered a scholarship, but it came in at the end of 2 years. So Girish Karnad gave him a film during the summer holidays with B.V. Karand called Chor Chor Chup Jai.
Yes, that was his first film.
His first co-star was a monkey called Ramu. And he got 3,000 rupees. He had never seen so much of money together, and that, you know, took care of his 2 years. And after that, when the scholarship came, he told FTI, I'm not going to give you, because as you rightly said, he wanted that Karza to remain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we still have that letter.
No, that's really interesting. And in fact, Kundan Shah ji recently went past, and I think he had this iconic character in Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro. I think every character was, but that entire Draupadi scene and everything, the finale, I think was
fantastic.
Even Priyadarshan. I think he's had some phenomenal.
Absolutely. He had a great comic timing, great comic sense.
Right, Kakka Ji Kahin and
Kakka Ji Kahin, Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro, and for the longest time, David Dhawan.
Chachi 420.
Chachi 420.
He was hilarious in that.
Brilliant.
He was hilarious in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and David Dhawan was his batchmate in FTI. In fact, David was his roommate, and Om was so serious with his studies and so, you know, hard up for money, and so David after 1 month said, yeah, please change my room, I don't want this, you know, very serious guy as my roommate. So later on, much later, Om told David said, hey, I saw you in Chachi. Om, you're damn good. He said, you only saw me in Chachi, you didn't see Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro and all. He said, yaar, haan. Then he said, after that, he and David also started doing a lot of David Dhawan films. You know?
Right.
So that was fun. And in fact, I think my son's favorite films are all the comic.
Must be. Must be.
Hera Pheri and the whole lot of it.
No, absolutely. I think Kakka Ji Kahin was, I still remember, it was such a funny sort of, I think, take, and even Mr. Yogi as well, he was there.
Yeah, no, was he? I think he was, yeah, he was there.
Mr. Yogi was there as well. So he had some phenomenal, and I think what he did in Tamas, that big scene was there.
Yes.
Oh. It still gives you those goose pimples.
He was kept in this room,
right,
without, obviously, you know, they were photographing him, and he was in that room with the pig, and he was very scared.
Must have been.
But he didn't show it. I don't have to say any adjectives to it, but we know what a great actor he was. Now in Parole Officer, he is with this English actor called Steve Coogan, who's a big TV star. Omar Sharif was also there, and they play bank robbers. Now he has to, in Brighton, they go on the world's second tallest, what do you call, Ferris wheel, and he was mortified of heights. He used to get vertigo, and the moment he saw, he told the director, I don't think I can do it. And he's supposed to be someone who's the keeper of the giant wheel and who looks very cool and casual. And Steve Coogan, who loved giant wheels, had to look very scared. And there was this scene, he was so nervous, so scared, and he says, look, if I don't survive this, if I die of a heart attack, tomorrow the papers in India are going to say Om Puri died of a heart attack on a giant wheel. So he did this whole thing trying to look very casual, and Steve Coogan trying to look very scared. And when he came down, he survived, the whole unit clapped, and he kind of relaxed. When his pressure was normal, the director said one more. He almost fainted then. He said no.
Okay, finally, ma'am, something about Mr. Puri's, I think he was a phenomenally, I think, viable commercial actor. He's had this film called AK-47 in Kannada,
Yes.
in which his performance was hugely appreciated, and he dubbed his own lines. Be it Pyar To Hona Hi Tha with Ajay Devgan, that Chane Wala scene, and Ghayal, and then Ghayal again, and Gupt for that matter, and so many like Hera Pheri, and a lot of these Priyadarshan movies, Chachi 420, Dawn.
Yes, Dawn 1 and 2.
Yeah,
yes.
Dawn
And
1 and 2.
Did a whole lot of David's films also.
David Dhawan's movie. So, how do you rate him as a commercial actor? Someone who had all the theatrics in terms of the dialogue bazi and everything that goes with the commercial requirements, and was extremely successful as far as that is concerned as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think he was even China Gate, if you see.
China Gate, yeah.
And he did various kinds of role in commercial cinema.
Yeah.
From character, from grandfather, father, villain, cop, to the main lead hero. And in fact, in China Gate, he had toned himself up so well that he refused to let a body double do the, the action scenes, the horse riding scenes.
Right.
And he learnt horse riding afresh for that film again. As he always said, I'm like a potato, put me anywhere, in any film, and I will just add flavor to it.
Right.
Which was so true. And of course, he and Nasir and Shabana and Smita were the torchbearers of the parallel cinema, the art cinema movement.
Right.
But he never distinguished between art and commercial. He always said, yes, art cinema is probably, it did this festival rounds. Commercial cinema was more viable. But for me, cinema was cinema.
Absolutely.
It could be either good cinema or bad cinema. And there are some films which he did for, obviously you have to do it for money, and so he did it. Sometimes he regretted doing a few films which were not, up to the standard as far as script or acting or at the end product, whatever.
Absolutely.
But he never distinguished between art and commercial. He always said, art cinema gave me my respect, my fame, my name. And commercial cinema and art cinema gave me my bread. But commercial cinema gave me my butter, my jam and my scotch.
Absolutely.
And the luxuries. So he always respected cinema, art form,
Right. All right, ma'am, it was a pleasure talking to you, and would love to, in fact, I think, interact with you more for the Om Puri Foundation.
Absolutely.
And happy birthday to, I think, both of you.
Yes.
Because you guys can, and I think you must celebrate, because that's what...
we're having a small havan in the morning.
Right.
And then Ishan's got a cake for his father, and we're going to cut the cake.
No, that'll be wonderful, and I hope that you guys have a great time, and thank you for talking to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.